All right, let's just jump right into this. Welcome to our latest explainer. Today, we're exploring something that is absolutely crucial, the ultimate front line of a nation's cyber defense. We're going to pull back the curtain on a newly established, incredibly high-stakes government agency. Their job? Protecting an entire country from invisible digital threats.
I want you to imagine this for a second. A massive coordinated attack hits a country's power grid, the central banking system, and government communications all at the exact same time. Screens just go dark. So who exactly do you call? I mean, when a physical building is on fire, we have a very clear system, right? We call the fire department. But when a nation's critical infrastructure is quite literally burning down in the digital realm, you need a highly specialized elite force of digital first responders. This is the reality of modern cyber warfare. And today, we're looking at exactly how Pakistan has answered that call.
And their answer to this digital crisis is the Pakistan Computer Emergency Response Team, officially known as PKCERT. Established in March 2024 under the Cabinet Division and the Ministry of IT and Telecommunication, PKCERT is the apex federal body. They are literally the digital fire brigade. Throughout this explainer, I'm going to take you on an inside tour of this vital agency. We'll check out their physical headquarters, the massive computing power they're throwing at these problems, the elite talent they recruit, and how their impact ripples out across the globe.
So, here's our map for today. We're going to break this down into 5 parts. First, the Cyber Fire Brigade. Then, inside the command center. Next, the 5 specialized divisions. After that, recruiting top cyber talent. And finally, securing the digital frontier. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The Cyber Fire Brigade, formation of PKCERT. You know, the speed at which this agency actually materialized is really quite remarkable. Back in 2021, the government drafted the National Cybersecurity Policy, and they identified this massive gap between national security and civilian digital infrastructure. But it was in 2023 that things really kicked into high gear. The federal cabinet approved the CERT rules in July, and the ministry formally notified them in October. And then boom, by March 2024, PKCERT was officially inaugurated. Under the leadership of its founding Director General, Dr. Haider Abbas, who's a renowned cybersecurity academic from the National University of Sciences and Technology, the agency went from a legislative framework to a fully operational reality in record time. Moving on to Section 2, inside the command center, inside National HQ. So where exactly do you put the brain of a nation's cyber defense? Well, right in the most secure location possible, of course. PKCERT's national headquarters is situated in L Block of the POC Secretariat in Islamabad. This puts them right in the high-security administrative heart of the capital, really close to the Prime Minister's office and key federal ministries. And that's absolutely crucial because it allows for zero-latency communication during a national crisis. It's an environment specifically built for rapid, secure coordination with the absolute highest levels of government.
Now, what's actually happening inside that building? Think of it as a massive digital fire hose of intelligence. Their core networking infrastructure features switches with a capacity of at least 132 gigabits per second. To put that into perspective, this kind of bandwidth allows them to monitor national-level internet traffic, ingest massive threat feeds, and scan for anomalies in real time without their systems ever bottlenecking. It is a serious pipe.
But to actually make sense of all that data coming in, you need some serious computing power. The agency utilizes enterprise-grade virtualization platforms managing over 480 compute cores. And this infrastructure is what powers their 24/7 Security Operations Center, or SOC. These cores are working around the clock, running complex data processing, managing the National Cyber Incident Database, and executing real-time attack simulations to constantly test the country's digital resilience. It's like a non-stop digital stress test. All right, Section 3. The 5 specialized divisions. Functional wings. So who's actually operating all this gear? Well, PKCERT is meticulously structured into 5 core functional wings. First up, you have incident response. These are your frontline responders managing active breaches. Then there's policy and regulation, which focuses on governance, risk, and compliance. They're effectively drafting the national standards that every other agency has to follow. The forensics division steps in to preserve evidence after an attack, while malware analysis literally reverse engineers the specific viruses used. And finally, there's capacity building, which is super fascinating. They host national hacking competitions and cyber Muhafiz drills to train up the next generation of defenders.
Let's look at how this all comes together in an actual operational flow. Imagine a zero-day exploit suddenly hits a critical government server. Step 1. The anomaly is detected right away by the 24/7 Security Operations Center. Step 2. The incident response team immediately jumps into containment, isolating that compromised network to stop the bleeding. Step 3. Once it's contained, the digital wreckage gets shipped off to the digital forensics lab. Here, using some seriously cutting-edge workstations powered by Intel Core i9-14900K processors, the forensic and malware analysis teams conduct a postmortem. They tear apart the malicious code to figure out exactly who launched it, and more importantly, how to inoculate the rest of the country against it.
Next up, Section 4. Recruiting Top Cyber Talent, Project Pay Scale.
Now, to run these labs, you need the absolute best minds. But to solve the talent acquisition problem, the government knew they couldn't just rely on standard basic pay scales. I mean, those just can't compete with the massive salaries in the private tech sector. So instead, PKCERT leverages what's called the Project Pay Scale, or PPS. To give you an idea, a PPS 11 director could make upwards of 1.4 million rupees a month, while PPS 07 penetration testers and reverse engineers are offered highly competitive, market-driven salaries. This whole framework is strategically designed to lure top-tier technical talent out of the private sector and into national service. Get this, they're even hiring bug bounty facilitators specifically to engage with the local underground white hat hacking community. How cool is that?
And that brings us to Section 5. Securing the digital frontier, a federated model.
A really crucial point here is that PKCERT realized very early on that they simply cannot protect a nation of this size using a single-branch, centralized model. Doing that would just create a massive isolated silo. So instead, they use a federated model. Think of PKCERT as the central hub. They are actively linked with provincial IT boards like PITB in Punjab and KPITB in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. On top of that, they're deeply integrated with sectoral certs. That means dedicated cyber teams for the finance sector, the telecom sector, and the power grid. The result, it's one unified, collaborative defense grid rather than a single point of failure.
And if we look at their scope of operations as of 2026, it is incredibly dynamic. They aren't just sitting back playing defense. They are proactively issuing global vulnerability advisories for major platforms like Cisco and Palo Alto. They're also running a vulnerability discovery program. This provides a legal, safe framework for ethical hackers to actually find and report flaws in government systems. Plus, they've signed international threat intelligence sharing agreements with global heavyweights like Kaspersky and Group IB. And looking to the future, they are heavily investing in integrating artificial intelligence for automated threat detection. Securing Pakistan's cyberspace. That is their official motto, and honestly, it perfectly summarizes their ultimate legacy. Before PKCERT came along, national cybersecurity was a highly fragmented, siloed task. But by introducing mandatory security standards, rigorous audits, and this unified, federated grid, PKCERT has completely transformed the nation's defense. It's no longer just a government problem. It's a highly collaborative national effort involving students, startups, global tech firms, and government ministries all working together.
But as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. We are rapidly entering an era where AI can discover zero-day vulnerabilities and launch automated, polymorphic attacks in literally a fraction of a second. As artificial intelligence accelerates both the sheer speed of these cyber attacks and the necessary power of our automated defenses, how will the digital fire brigades of the future continue to hold the line? It's a digital arms race that never sleeps, and for sure, the stakes couldn't be higher. Thank you so much for joining me as we unpack the fascinating inner workings of this critical agency. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.